Have you ever wondered why you're suddenly alone? Why the world seems to turn its back on you, and even those closest to you begin to drift away? It's not punishment, it's preparation. This is why Allah hides you, not because you're unworthy, but because you're being purified, because you're being chosen. The ones He loves the most, He isolates, because in silence, in solitude, and in darkness, you discover your light. Let's uncover the 6 reasons why Allah hides those He chooses. 1. To rebuild you without distraction. Sometimes in life, everything suddenly feels quiet. The people you used to talk to every day slowly drift away. The gatherings stop, the noise disappears, and you're left wondering, why did Allah remove everyone around me? It's because He wants to rebuild you. But to rebuild you, He first needs to remove the distractions. When you're constantly surrounded by people's voices, opinions, expectations, and even their judgments, it becomes hard to hear your own thoughts, let alone feel the gentle pull of your soul. You get caught up trying to please others, to meet their standards, to keep up appearances. And slowly, without realizing it, you start living for them, not for yourself, and not for Allah. That's when Allah steps in. He clears the space around you, not to make you feel lonely, but to make you realign. He wants you to start over, not based on other people's approval, but based on His guidance. Because when it's just you and Him, that's when the healing begins. In this quiet time, you'll start to see your real worth, not based on how many likes you get or how many friends you have, but based on the purity of your intentions, the honesty of your heart, and the depth of your faith. Taqwa, sincerity, devotion. These are what make you valuable in the sight of Allah, not titles, not popularity, not achievements. So if you feel alone, understand that you are not being abandoned. You are being recalibrated. Allah is removing the noise so that you can finally hear Him. He's removing the people so that you can finally meet the most important person, you, the version He created you to be. And in that quiet space, your soul begins to breathe again. Your heart becomes stronger, and your purpose becomes clear. 2. To teach you that His love is enough. There are times in life when you look around and realize no one is really there. The people you trusted suddenly feel distant. The ones you leaned on no longer answer your calls. You begin to feel invisible, unwanted, even abandoned. And it hurts. It hurts deeply because we're human. We crave connection, support, and love. But sometimes Allah removes all those temporary supports to remind you of something powerful. His love is the only love that never leaves. When you rely too much on people, their presence becomes your comfort. You begin to feel safe only when they are near. You smile when they approve of you, and you fall apart when they ignore you. That's when your heart becomes attached to the creation, forgetting the Creator. And so Allah, in His divine mercy, gently takes people away, not to harm you, but to heal you. He isolates you so that you can discover something greater, that His love is enough. It's during those quiet nights, when you're crying on your prayer mat, when no one texts, no one checks in, and you feel completely unseen by the world, that you realize Allah sees you. He hears every silent tear. He knows the pain in your chest before you can put it into words. And even when no one else understands what you're going through, He does. The more you turn to Him, the more you begin to feel a new kind of peace. One that doesn't come from being accepted by people, but from being connected to your Lord. And in that moment, you realize you were never truly alone. People are a blessing, yes, but they are not your source. They are not your saviors. Allah is. And when He teaches you that, it changes you forever. You stop chasing validation. You stop fearing abandonment. And you start living with a calm, unshakable heart, because it's no longer tied to temporary love. It's tied to eternal love. So if you're in a season where everyone seems to be walking away, understand this. It's not the end. It's the beginning of the most beautiful relationship you'll ever experience, you and Allah. And once you feel what His love truly means, you'll never feel empty again. 3. To elevate you without the eyes of the world. Sometimes you wonder why your talents go unnoticed. You work hard, stay sincere, try to do the right thing, but there's no applause, no spotlight, no recognition. It feels like you're stuck in the background while others, even those with less effort or less honesty, are being praised and lifted up. But what you don't see is what Allah sees. He's hiding you, not because you're not worthy, but because your elevation is too sacred to be handled by the world just yet. You see, when the world lifts you up too early, it praises the outer shell, but ignores the inner struggle. It praises the appearance, the image, the moment. But Allah looks deeper. He knows your intentions. He sees your private efforts, the late-night prayers, the silent sacrifices, the quiet tears. And because those things are pure, they require a pure unveiling. Allah doesn't want to expose you to the world until your heart is strong enough to handle the attention, without becoming proud. Until your character is mature enough to remain humble, even when you're praised. Until your purpose is clear enough that no amount of applause or criticism can shake it. Sometimes we ask Allah to raise us, but we don't realize that the hidden phase is where real growth happens. It's where your ego is tamed, where your intentions are purified, where you learn to seek His approval, not people's praise. Because once you've been strengthened in private, once you've learned to be faithful when no one is watching, then you're ready to carry the weight of being seen by others without losing yourself. That's why Allah often hides those He loves the most. The world may not notice you, but heaven knows your name. And when Allah decides it's your time to rise, no one can stop it. So don't rush the process. Don't compare your journey to others who seem ahead. You're not behind. You're being prepared for something much greater, something long-lasting, something real. Because when Allah elevates you, it won't be temporary, it won't be hollow, it will be purposeful and permanent. And you'll be ready, not for fame, but for impact. Not for attention, but for legacy. You are hidden, not forgotten. You are being built in silence, so you can rise with strength. 4. To break attachments that weaken your heart. Sometimes life takes away the people you never imagined living without. A friend you thought would stay forever stops calling. A relationship you poured your soul into suddenly ends. Even family connections may grow cold, distant, or strained. And in that emptiness, your heart begins to ache. You feel confused, lost. You ask, why would Allah let them go if they meant so much to me? But here's the truth. Not every attachment is good for your soul. Some people enter your life not to bless you, but to distract you. Not to bring you closer to Allah, but to pull you further from Him, slowly, silently, without you even realizing it. Your heart is the most precious part of you. It is the place where your love, your pain, your hopes, and your faith all reside. But when your heart gets too attached to a person, their presence becomes your comfort, and their absence becomes your destruction. Allah, in His mercy, removes those attachments, not to hurt you, but to protect you. Because when you love someone more than you love your salah, when their words mean more to you than the Quran, when their absence shatters you more than disobeying your Lord does, then that love has become a test, and your heart has become enslaved. Allah doesn't want your heart to be dependent on anything fragile. People change, feelings fade, even the most sincere love can break, but His love never changes, His mercy never fades, and His presence is constant, even when everyone else leaves. So when you feel like you've lost someone you couldn't live without, realize this: you didn't lose them by accident. Allah removed them because He loves you more than you loved them. He saw the pain that relationship would bring before you did. He saw how your soul was weakening, even if your heart felt full. And He chose to protect you in a way you didn't understand at the time. Yes, it hurts. Letting go is painful. Detaching from someone you cared for is like tearing a piece of yourself away. But what you gain in return is freedom, a heart that is free to fully turn to Allah, a soul that is no longer chained to someone else's behavior, opinions, or approval, and a relationship with your Creator that fills you in ways no human ever could. This detachment is not punishment, it's purification. It's Allah clearing space in your heart for something more beautiful, more lasting, more real. And once you've healed, once you've truly given your pain to Him, you'll look back and thank Him. You'll thank Him for not giving you what you thought you needed. You'll thank Him for removing who you begged Him to keep, because in losing them, you found yourself. And more importantly, you found Him. So the next time someone leaves your life, don't chase, don't beg, don't break. Pause, reflect, and trust. Because sometimes the greatest mercy is not in what Allah gives, but in what He takes away. 5. To heal you away from the eyes that wounded you. Sometimes the very people you trusted the most become the ones who hurt you the deepest. The ones you opened your heart to end up using it against you. You try to understand why the ones who said they loved you now speak coldly. Why the ones who used to cheer for you now stay silent, or worse, try to break you. And what hurts even more is not just what they did, but how openly they did it. They belittled you in public. They gossiped behind your back. They mocked your sincerity. They twisted your kindness into weakness. And for a while, it crushed you. You kept smiling in front of them. But inside, you were breaking. So what does Allah do when you're surrounded by people who keep wounding your soul? He removes you. He pulls you away, not because you're weak, but because you deserve peace. He isolates you, not to punish you, but to heal you away from the eyes that caused your pain. You can't heal in the same place where you got hurt. You can't rise while surrounded by voices constantly pulling you down. You can't become who Allah designed you to be while trying to prove your worth to people who only see your flaws. So Allah, in His mercy, hides you. He takes you out of the room filled with judgmental eyes and places you in a space where your soul can finally breathe. A space of quiet, of stillness, of reflection, where your value isn't based on how you look or how others see you, but how He sees you. And in that sacred space, you begin to rediscover parts of yourself that were buried under years of pain. You begin to realize that you were never the problem. You were just in the wrong environment. That your worth wasn't tied to how others treated you. It was always tied to how Allah created you. Beautiful, strong, chosen. Healing isn't always about moving on quickly. It's about sitting in the silence and saying, Ya Allah, I don't understand why this happened, but I trust you. It's about slowly picking up the shattered pieces of your heart and letting Allah put them back together in a way that makes you even stronger than before. And as you grow, quietly, in your season of isolation, something powerful happens. You stop needing their approval. You stop defending your worth. You stop bleeding for people who would never even notice your scars. You become whole, not through revenge, not through confrontation, but through peace. And when Allah finally reintroduces you to the world, they won't see the broken version they left behind. They'll see a version of you that radiates with nur, light, strength, and self-respect. A version of you that was rebuilt by the one who knows your soul better than anyone else. So if you've been pulled away, don't panic. Don't think you've been forgotten. You've been placed exactly where you need to be, to heal, to reflect, and to rise, because your healing is too important to happen in a place filled with noise. Allah takes you into the quiet so He can make you whole again. 6. To make you fall in love with solitude, not isolation. There's a difference between being alone and being at peace. At first, when Allah begins to isolate you, it can feel unbearable. The silence is loud, the emptiness is heavy. You miss the company, the laughter, the comfort of just knowing someone is there. You start questioning, why am I being left out? Why does no one understand me anymore? You think you're being punished. You think life is becoming meaningless. But in reality, you're being invited. Invited into a space far more beautiful than the noise you left behind. This isn't isolation for the sake of suffering. This is solitude with purpose. Most people never slow down. They're always running, from distraction to distraction, relationship to relationship, screen to screen. They never sit still long enough to face themselves or to feel the presence of Allah around them. But when Allah chooses you for something deeper, something greater, He removes the chaos. He silences the noise. He brings you into solitude to teach you the power of stillness. And at first, that solitude might feel like a prison. You're used to movement, to noise, to conversations. Suddenly, you're left alone with only your thoughts. And that can be terrifying. But what you don't realize is that this discomfort is the beginning of transformation. When you stop running from yourself, you start meeting yourself. When you stop depending on others for joy, you start tasting the sweetness of being with Allah. And when you stop trying to fill the silence, you begin to hear His guidance more clearly. In solitude, you start to feel things you never noticed before. The way your soul calms during sujood, the way tears fall, not from sadness, but from connection. The way the Quran speaks to you like it was sent just for you. You begin to cherish the quiet moments. You start talking to Allah like a friend, like the only one who truly understands what's in your heart. And through that, your heart becomes full. Not because someone else filled it, but because Allah did. Soon, you begin to enjoy your own company. You start going for walks, not to escape, but to reflect. You spend time alone, not because you're unwanted, but because you've learned to be content. You laugh without needing an audience. You cry without needing comfort from people, because you've found comfort in prayer. You realize that solitude is not sadness. It's sanctuary. It's a sacred space where healing, growth, and deep spiritual connection happen. It's where Allah teaches you that you are never truly alone, not when you have Him. This is the wisdom behind isolation, to strip away your false dependencies, to teach you how to stand strong on your own, to help you experience a level of peace the world can never offer. So if you're in a season of being alone, embrace it. It's not a step backward. It's the sacred ground where your soul grows wings. One day, you'll look back at this quiet time of your life and realize it wasn't empty at all. It was full of lessons, full of strength, full of Allah's unseen mercy. Because when you fall in love with solitude, you fall in love with the most important relationship of your life, your relationship with your Creator. And that is the kind of love that never fades, never betrays, and never leaves. 7. Because you're being prepared for something greater. There are moments in life when everything feels slow, quiet, and still. You watch others moving ahead, getting opportunities, building their lives, being celebrated. And you sit there thinking, what about me? You try so hard, you stay sincere, you pray, you strive, And yet, nothing seems to happen. But what if this stillness, this hidden phase, is not a delay? What if it's divine preparation? When Allah isolates you, it's because what He's preparing for you, and what He's preparing you for, is greater than what you're ready for right now. He's not making you wait because you're forgotten. He's making you wait because your destiny is too precious to be rushed. Think of it like this. When a seed is planted in the earth, it disappears. It's covered in darkness. No one sees its growth. But underneath the soil, in complete silence, it's transforming. Its roots are deepening. Its foundation is being secured. And one day, without warning, it breaks through the surface, stronger, greener, full of life. That's what Allah is doing with you. He's growing you in the unseen. He's building your inner strength, your patience, your resilience. Because what's coming isn't small. It requires a version of you that is rooted, grounded, and unshakable. The trials you're facing, the loneliness, the heartbreak, the delays, they're not random. They're refining you. Every tear you shed is washing away arrogance. Every unanswered prayer is stretching your trust. Every quiet moment is training your soul to rely on Him and Him alone. You see, the people who are meant to carry greatness are not made in comfort. They're made in silence, in frustration, in surrender. Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him, was hidden in a well, then in prison, long before he sat on a throne. Prophet Musa, peace be upon him, was isolated in the desert before he returned as a messenger. Even our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was taken to the cave of Hira, alone, before the first revelation arrived. Why? Because greatness begins in isolation. When Allah hides you, it's because He's shaping your character. He's building your discipline. He's protecting you from distractions, temptations, and environments that would damage your mission. You're not being left behind. You're being set apart. You're not falling behind. You're being equipped. Because what you're going to carry is heavier than most can bear. And Allah loves you enough to not let you step into it unprepared. So don't be discouraged by the silence. Don't lose hope in the waiting. Every moment of this hidden season is part of a divine strategy, custom designed for you. And when the time is right, when your soul is ready, when your purpose is clear, Allah will open doors you didn't knock on. He will place you in positions you never imagined. He will honor you in ways that no human could ever do. Because you didn't build yourself. He built you. So if you're still hidden, know this. You're not buried. You're planted. And when you rise, you won't just rise for yourself. You'll rise for everyone your light is meant to reach. And that light will shine, not because the world approves of you, but because Allah Himself prepared you for it. 8. Because you are being protected from what you cannot yet see. There are moments when everything around you starts to fall apart. Plans collapse. People leave. Doors that once felt open suddenly shut tight. You try to fix it. You pray. You strive. But no matter how hard you try, something always seems to stop you from moving forward. And in your heart you wonder, why is this happening to me? Why is Allah blocking every path? But what if it's not punishment, it's protection? What if the silence, the isolation, the loss are all part of Allah's unseen mercy? You see, we only understand what is in front of us. We make decisions based on what we feel or what we want right now. But Allah sees what we cannot. He sees the future. He sees hearts. He sees dangers hidden behind smiles and disasters hidden behind opportunities. And sometimes the very thing we beg for would have broken us. Sometimes the people we want to stay would have harmed our soul. Sometimes the job we cried for would have taken us away from our deen. And so, out of his infinite mercy, Allah hides you. He delays your journey. He removes certain people. He silences some conversations. He creates distance, not to leave you empty, but to protect you completely. When Allah loves you, He doesn't just give you what you ask for. He gives you what your soul needs. And that includes protection from the things you don't see coming. So, when you find yourself alone, when things seem to stop working, understand that it's not random. It's divine intervention. Sometimes you'll be protected from the relationship you thought would complete you, because Allah saw the heartbreak it would cause. Sometimes you'll be pulled away from a friendship you deeply valued, because Allah saw the jealousy or betrayal building inside it. Sometimes you'll be prevented from a dream job, a big opportunity, or a major decision, because Allah knew it would distract you from your purpose or damage your peace. It hurts, yes. It's confusing. You cry and say, "Ya Allah, why won't you let me have this?" But imagine a child reaching out to touch fire. Would a loving parent allow it just because the child insists? They'll pull the child back, firmly, even if the child cries, because they know something the child does not. This is how Allah deals with the hearts He loves. He removes what will burn you, even if you don't understand yet. And in this isolation, this hidden phase, you're not just being protected from people or places, you're also being protected from your own nafs, from your own impulses, your impatience, your desire to chase what looks good but is not good for you. Allah slows you down so that you don't rush into something you'll later beg to escape. That's why some relationships end before they begin. That's why some dreams collapse before they take off. That's why some people fade from your life without warning. It's because Allah is removing everything that would take you off your true path. So don't curse the silence. Don't resent the rejection. Don't chase what Allah is protecting you from. Instead, pause and trust. Because the more Allah hides you, the more He's guarding your future. He's protecting your heart, your faith, your energy, your time. He's creating space around you so that what's meant for you, pure, peaceful, and purposeful, has room to reach you. One day, when you look back, you'll realize what felt like abandonment was divine protection. What felt like a delay was a redirection. What felt like heartbreak was mercy in disguise. You are not being ignored. You are being guarded by the one who sees what you can't and loves you too much to let you walk into harm unprepared. So trust the hiding, trust the pauses, and trust that what's being withheld is only making space for what's truly meant for you. So now you know, when Allah hides you, it's not because He's forgotten you, it's because He's choosing you, choosing to purify you, to elevate you, to heal you, to break the chains around your heart, to bring you closer to Him, and most importantly, to protect you from what you cannot yet see. Every delay has a reason. Every silence has wisdom. Every closed door is a hidden doorway to something far greater. What you're going through isn't the end. It's preparation. It's transformation. It's mercy dressed in silence. So the next time you feel alone, unseen, or left behind, remember this. You're not being left out. You're being set apart. You're not being pushed away. You're being pulled closer to the one who knows your soul better than anyone ever will. Allah doesn't hide the unworthy. He hides the chosen. He hides the hearts He wants to strengthen. He hides the souls He's preparing to carry His light. So embrace the quiet. Embrace the healing. Embrace the solitude. Because what's coming will require all of the strength, wisdom, and faith He's building inside of you right now. You're not being buried. You're being planted. And when the time is right, you will bloom in ways the world never saw coming. May Allah protect you, guide you, and raise you in the most beautiful way. Ameen. If this message touched your heart, Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more reminders of faith, hope, and purpose. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.